That's enough chalk, right? That's right, on today's show we're going to get chalky about chalk, and there's a reason for this. We as climbers use chalk every day. It doesn't matter if you climb outdoors, indoors, or just go training, you're going to be chalking up. And there's a massive amount of variety, different types of chalk and different ingredients in chalk. So we thought it'd be a cool thing to get geeky about and find out a bit more. But first of all, here's a 1-minute roundup of all the videos we've been putting out on Climbing Daily this week. Hit it. I haven't seen a ball that big in a while. I'm seeing pixies everywhere, like little bouncy pixies. I'm done. If you want to watch the full videos from that teaser, go to Ep.850 or click on the link below. Now there's a difference between normal chalk and climbing chalk. I've always been rubbish at chemistry, so bear with me a little bit here. Normal chalk is made from calcium carbonate, which actually dissolves in water, so it's rubbish for sweat. Climbing chalk is made of magnesium carbonate that doesn't dissolve in water, so great for sweat. So the moral of the story is, don't try to save money by using classroom chalk. So climbing chalk comes in a few different forms. You can get it in a block like this, which you have to crush. You can get pre-crushed chalk like this, or liquid chalk. Also worth remembering that crushed chalk comes in these little balls here, which you can put into your chalk bag and just reach back and get all chalked up. Which one of those you use is generally down to personal preference. Okay, let's talk about liquid chalk. So liquid chalk is a combination of alcohol and magnesium carbonate. The alcohol dries away, leaving the magnesium carbonate on your hand, a chalky hand. The advantage of this is it's really easy to put on, it's quick, and it tends to last quite a long time. It also gets a really nice coverage of the hand. Let's give it a go. So one thing worth remembering with liquid chalk is that if you've got thin fingertips or any cuts, it's really going to sting. So you just rub it on your hands, and at first there's going to be nothing there. And then you can see the chalk starting to come in. If you blow it a bit, it works a bit quicker. Now I've only put on a really thin layer here, but if you squeeze loads on, there's a much thicker leveling of chalk. So for me, the best time to use liquid chalk is when you're deep water soloing. That's because there's a lot of moisture floating around in the sea air, and the alcohol in the liquid chalk just dries all that up really quickly. It's also good for longer routes, and I tend to use it as a base layer. So I'll put it on and then re-chalk up whilst on the route. Disadvantages: it's a little bit heavier, it's a bit messier, especially if it's in your bag and it spills everywhere. And also, you look like a bit of an idiot if you're just standing around blowing in your hands or flapping them. Different manufacturers make different chalk using completely different chemical compounds, and there is a difference. For example, I find really cheap chalk, you know, like that stuff you pick up from Decathlon, just doesn't work at all. It doesn't coat your hands, it doesn't stay on, and it doesn't really prevent sweat. For me, useless. Often manufacturers are a little bit secretive about what they actually put in their chalk. But we know that some use drying agents and some don't. For example, Friction Labs, they don't use drying agents in their chalk. They just use a very pure form of magnesium carbonate. This is a tricky one because it's really easy to get blinded by the science of it all. But at the end of the day, it does come down to what you personally like. And let's be honest, we're all climbers. We've used chalk every single day. So here's a few of my personal preferences. And as usual, please comment and let me know yours. So for crushed chalk, I like Wild Country's Pure Chalk for my bouldering bucket. You can fill it up all the way to the top. What I hate though is using crushed chalk whilst I'm sport climbing. The reason for this is when I'm sort of reaching back, I tend to lose loads. And I just find that because it's loose, it's all over my hands. I have to blow it off. And when I'm pumped, that's not ideal. So when I'm sport climbing, I use a chalk ball. And again, I don't really mind too much about brands. This is a Petzl one, Petzl Powerball, but I tend to use any chalk ball that's lying around as long as it's not a cheap, horrible, nasty one. Liquid chalk wise, it's not something I use a huge amount, but as I said before, if I'm deep water soloing, I tend to go for the Black Diamond White Gold. It just dries really, really quickly and has a nice even coating for me. What type of chalk you use and how you use it is all about your personal way of doing it. It's interesting, Hugo, who's behind the camera, we just had a little cutaway moment and he was telling me that he's bought one of the cheap ones and he had to like bite a hole in his chalk ball to get the chalk out because it just wouldn't coat his hands properly. So buy expensive chalk, it's worth it at the end of the day. We want to hear your comments. How do you use chalk? When do you use it? Why do you use it? Please let us know. And as a competition, we're going to give away my favourite big bag of chalk to the best chalk-based comment below. Which gives you guys a little bit of scope for creativity. Talking about competitions, we've got to name last week's winner. And the winner was, or winners, the first one was Gruffiard Morgan, I think that's how you pronounce it, who wanted us to look at low and high volume climbing shoes and what that means, which is a really good idea. So keep an eye out for that in the next couple of weeks. And the second winner is from Caleb Jacobson with this joke. How do you know that Santa Claus is a climber? He's got a beard, he wears the same set of clothes every day, and he only works 1 day a year. Made me laugh. And I'm in charge. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, so that's done. Let's get rid of this chalk. A regular feature we're going to be doing every Friday is unboxing some cool gear. And today is no different. Now, I'm a little bit biased about these because I really want a pair. It's the new Scarpa Phantom Tech 6000 mountaineering boot. Scarpa, if you're listening, you know where to send them. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's go through some features. So these have improved on the old model in loads of different ways, but there's still the amazing built-in gaiter. Now this is useful even in summer alpinism to stop all that snow going down into your boot and making your feet wet when wading through thick snow. The zipper, if we start from here, now comes down in a spiral around the boot. This is so that you still get lots of movement in the gaiter when your ankle's in this section here. And of course, the zip is completely waterproof. These are incredibly lightweight at only 815 grams, but still really warm. That's thanks to a combination of Primaloft and EVA foam insulation. The sole is made with our favorite Vibram rubber and is being made a little bit stiffer than before. This makes it better at ice climbing and mixed climbing. Okay, let's take a look inside. Which I can't really do very easily with my shoulder. Okay. Thanks to the person who commented that I look a bit like a T-Rex on the videos. Thanks for that. Okay, so the lacing system has been redesigned so it's really quick and easy to do and tighten up, especially with gloves on. If you would strip all this away, you'd have a really lightweight mountaineering boot, but the extra padding and the built-in gaiter makes it a perfect winter mountaineering boot. And to be honest, I'd wear this in the summer as well. This sounds a bit lame and I'm a bit embarrassed about admitting this, but when I first came to Chamonix and started alpine climbing, you'd always see the guides and the people who knew what they were doing in Scarpa Phantom Techs. And in my head, they were the sort of king boot. And this new one just reaffirms it. It's a sexy, sexy bit of kit. So yeah, Scarpa, please send me one. And you guys, I haven't actually used this boot yet. I'm just dribbling over it. So if you could tell me how good it is or if you think it's rubbish, which it's not. Right, that's it for today's show. Remember, you can buy all the stuff that we've been talking about today in the Epic TV shop. And remember, we want you guys to get as involved as possible. Comment below and let us know your gear ideas. And remember that the best chalk-based comment wins, well, a bag of chalk. Thanks for watching.